C.W. Wade. They respond to him like there's nothing to it. I can't get these documents. He gets them overnight.
Hello, welcome everyone to Sandy Hook Facts and sandyhookfacts.com. I am your host, C.W. Wade. This episode we are going to be talking about timestamps on photographs. First and foremost, some of this research comes straight from Crisis Actors Guild, and credit where credit is due. You definitely need to visit that site, and very detailed information there I won't go into here. We got to keep the video short. Hoaxers contend that Sandy Hook was closed. This is widespread disinformation spread by the hoaxers. They base this claim on a lie. The evidence to support their claim is actually literally a lie. Their alleged evidence is to intentionally falsely claim that the Wayback Machine measures internet activity at the school and twisting that false claim into pretending that the school was closed. All right, it's based on an entirely false premise. It's a lie that they push, and then gullible people fall for it. Okay. On the other side, we have ample evidence the school was open. We have budgets, school inspections, board meetings, PTA meetings, hundreds of hot-sprung emails that Wolfgang refuses to release, hundreds of work orders that Wolfgang refuses to release, insurance documents apparently even now that he refuses to release. We have newspaper articles out there, Facebook posts, Twitter posts, on and on and on. So let's listen to the hoaxers.
You know what? They need to get ready, Alex. We're coming. If you could be in my office right now today, beyond a reasonable doubt, we have all of the evidence. People anonymously have now come forward from Newtown. We now have documents that will, without a doubt, show that that school did not exist. It was not in operation.
Well, you better release those.
Halbig and Fetzer are a team, of course. Both spread this bull.
If everyone were to read just one article about Sandy Hook this week, say, this is the article to read because it demonstrates a school was closed by 2008. Now, if the school was closed by 2008, that explains why there were no students there.
Halbig actually claiming the parents have come forward. Of course, he has no parents that have ever come forward. That was several years ago. He still hasn't produced that. All right, so that was just, they let him get away with it. They know he makes all these false statements. So when I talk about time-stamped photos that we're going to be looking at in this episode, it's like this one here. This is a picture of Noah and his sister, and they're holding a transformer from a movie released in 2011. I already discussed this because this is undebunkable. This shows Noah in 2011. So that's what we're going to be looking at, things like that. And I'm going to go through these pictures quickly, so if you need to pause them and take a look, that's fine. But I'm just going to say them quickly as I scroll through them. So this is from the Newtown Bee, May 7th, 2010, and you can tell it's from this area of the school. It's from a crime scene photo. And on her shirt, 2009. Okay, and this one, this is a fire truck in front of Sandy Hook School, and that engine is a 2010 Pierce Rescue Pumper. So obviously it could not be before 2010. This is Dawn Hochsprung with a meeting with, maybe it's a Chinese writer, I think. I'm not sure exactly who she is. Anyway, most importantly is if you look on this table at this meeting, they're both there. She's wearing the same clothes. Is an iPad, so it gives you a good time frame from when this photo was. This is from the crime scene video. You can see a number of iPads, including the red one there. We'll talk about in a minute, and laptops. And this is a crime scene photo looking into room 9 from the hallway, and this is after they've started to stack all the stuff that needs to be removed by the hazmat teams into the hallway. These are blood splattered desks, obviously. And I think we're going to talk about the blood later, because as is known, I have the only one that I know of, the actual blood cleanup contract. I do have it. I've not released it. So maybe it's time to talk about that a little bit. So that's the room 9. The 911 calls were made there by the parent. It's in the conference. As they started stacking personal effects, this is a picture after the shooting, of course, and it's starting to have the personal effects of victims. And I don't think they're all victims there, but I can see Olivia Engel, Jesse Lewis, Allison Wyatt, Avielle Richmond, Dylan Hockley, and then some. The bottom one, it looks like it's hard to make them out, but anyway. And then a chair that's obviously Miss Soto's. So they've started to stack the effects, so we know that they return these back to the parents. So as you can see, that is that same room. You see on the wall. The next picture is a Year of the Dragon celebration in 2012. Year of the Dragon was 2012. You're not going to get a Chinese dance troupe to show up in any other year and celebrate the Year of the Dragon except for the Year of the Dragon. So this is a very, very compelling timestamp for Sandy Hook Elementary School. You cannot fake this. All right, so this happened in 2012. There's a number of pictures of this event, and they were dancing in the auditorium. Then they held a parade, and you can see Mrs. Soto standing there in the hallway, and the children there. All right, you can see the decorations on the hallway are certainly different than the winter decorations when the shooting happened. And if you look at the walls, I'm pointing this out because we're going to get into it in a little bit, but as you recall, the school superintendent said correctly that this was caused by the wax buffers. There's the buffer machine. This is from the crime scene video, and they show that buffer machine, the one that causes that mark.
Mr. Fayel, would you take a look at this picture? Do you recognize what is contained within that picture?
It's classroom door. According to the photograph, it's room 6.
Okay. Do you see any water damage or indicia of water stains on the wall or the tile or the door?
No, I do not.
What do you make of this gray or this black mark along the door?
It's wax buildup on the tile. It's wax buildup from the floor from the buffing machines.
What about the black mark on the door?
The door probably got hit or banged with furniture moving in and out.
You can see it on the wall there. This is a crime scene photo. What I want to point out is the Lemonade War picture on the wall there. It was actually in the newspaper when they got that picture, when the author, Jacqueline Davis, visited the school on October 28th, 2010. And there you can see Mrs. Hodgsprung holding that picture when she received it from the author. You see the children, they're in the auditorium of Sandy Hook School. It's obviously the auditorium. The Lemonade War was released May 4th, 2009, so it definitely could not have been 2008. That's common sense. Alright, and here is a parade, more parade. This is heading out from the main part of the school. From the east hallway, heading south into the portables area, and you can see where it turns carpeted there. You can see on his shirt says 2011. The hoaxers are done in by that student's shirt. In this photo from a few days before the shooting, you can see they have the iPad there. Don Hodgsprung tweeted about their Monday morning gatherings. 30 Sandy Hook teachers gather for an early morning appy hour, sharing the best iPad apps for our classroom. So these are dedicated teachers working. That's obviously the library. We have that library on video. Sandy Hook Elementary School. So they're sharing apps. This photo, also in the library, you can see this area of the school in the crime scene photo right here. So this picture is from an article in the 2011 edition of the Newtown Bee, and it was Kindle's now available for checkout at Sandy Hook School. So these are showing the Kindle keyboards. They began shipping in August 2010. Obviously it could not have been 2008. Also notice his shirt, which is a Mark Brunell shirt. He was only with the Jets a short period of time from 2010 to 2011. So most likely a Mark Brunell shirt, right? Smart technology. This is, again, Crisis Actors Guild. A lot of this stuff. And this is a slam dunk, all right? There's no way they put thousands of dollars of equipment in there. All right? And then they messed up and used a parent as a FBI sniper. Give me a break. So this crime scene photo depicts a smart table, the ST230i. This table wasn't even released until February 2009, and this is between $6,000 and $8,000 for this table. Wow. So that's not 2008. They didn't even wheel this thing in there for just to take one crime scene photo, which, by the way, has a calendar behind it. And this Smart Unify short throw projector with the boom arm, that was released February 2008. So someone didn't install that. And this unified smartboard projector, that was released December 2010. So this is a brand new unit. We're 2 years old by the time of the shooting. Now for more time stamping, we're going to move into the kitchen. Look at all this food. You think they just moved it in there just to take a quick shot of it? This food proves operation right there. They don't leave food hanging around a closed down school. Look at all the food on the shelves. Kitchen is clean. It's a working kitchen, but it's clean. It's not covered in dust. Floors are clean. The stainless steel is clean. There's food getting ready to be prepared. All that looks good. Looks good. The lid there. Clean sinks. They're not covered in dust. Something's been sitting for 4 years. It's certainly covered in dust. Those are nice, clean stainless steel tables of the kitchen. This is from Crime Scene Video. Now I want to point out the menu item of the day. This is from a crime scene photo. And on the menu today, homemade cheese pizza. So there's some of it. It's starting to be made. Obviously not sitting there since 2008. All right. So the kitchen started cooking. They're getting ready for what's on the menu. Homemade cheese pizza. That one, that's half made. All right. They got interrupted in their morning activities. 9:30 in the morning. They're starting their cooking for lunch. They're working hard, and then the shooting happens. So that's what that shows. And that's clean counter. Those are fresh food there, matching the menu item in the lobby. Veggie dishes there, obviously not sitting there since 2008. So fresh. Everything's clean, not dusty. It's a working place. Probably just finished their breakfast. Everything's clean, beautiful. It's a very good job. Very clean, very healthy for the children. Floor is clean, mopped. That's the kitchen. And they're getting ready with their cheese pizza, just like the menu item says. Move into this classroom. There's plants there. Some have been sitting there since 2008. You think they put a bunch of 2-liter bottle plants for the shooting back in middle of nowhere? Now here's the restrooms. And there's several videos of showing the restrooms. And Halbig always says, why did they bring porta potties if they could just go and use the restroom in middle of the crime scene? So obviously that's stupid, and that just shows his lack of experience and knowledge. Obviously they're not going to bring a bunch of people trouncing through the school to go to the restroom. Right? So that's just something he says to trick people into giving him money, the dummies out there. But look at these restrooms. They're clean, handicap accessible, ADA compliant. Here's some office, and I wanted to show that calendar. So, I guess the evil Mossad agents who, whatever the hoaxers think, I guess they put a kitten calendar on the wall in their preparations and made sure they put it on December 2012. So you can clearly see that calendar, December 2012. You see where the numbers are. And this is Sally Cox's office, her nurse's office, and she has plants there. Modern equipment. Desk looks good. It's not dusty. More plants. Looks worked in. She's got her smock hanging there. This is not an abandoned facility. All right? You're looking from behind her desk right there, just like as if the shooter walked in. This is the office. I wanted to point out that copy machine right there. It's an expensive, probably leased. It might be a good FOIA request. I don't know how you could word it to actually get them motivated to send that. But it's probably a leased copy machine, but it's a very nice copy machine. This is not an abandoned office. Right there you can see the white phone that has the intercom and the camera monitor for the front camera. You can see food there. I think that's food. You can see photos, family photos on that desk. Obviously abandoned schools, they don't leave their family photographs on the desks. All right. So this is the computer room. Many computers in there. A lot of equipment. Obviously not abandoned. Nice and set up. Don't tell me about the wax buildup on the floors. Look at this place. Teachers having morning meetings with happy hour and beautiful school and getting ready, working hard. Modern equipment. You can see the monitor there on the wall for the security system. This is Hochsprung's office. You can see her certificates on the wall. And I think here they've probably started to box up her effects to give back to her family. That would be my guess. That's what the banker's boxes often are throughout the school at this stage, 3 days into it. So anyway, modern flat screen, printer, plant. This is not dusty, clean. This is not abandoned. Again, handicap exits, ADA compliant exits. The break room, look at this break room. Look at that copy machine right there. There's another one. Those are big, expensive copy machines. You don't usually buy those. Usually you lease them in a big office because of the maintenance. You have to call those guys out, every few months. You don't want to be paying service fees. All right, so usually you get a whole contract with those things, and then you just call them when they break down. A soda machine, nice and clean, used. This is the front of the school. You can see the Christmas decorations there in the front window of the office. You can see the glove from where they were treating, that area right near there is where they were treating Hochsprung and Sherlock down. So you don't know when they took those gloves off, but probably then. And this is later. So the crime scene photos, one of the things the hoaxers trick their users about is that the crime scene photos show a progression of the investigation. They show it right after it happened, and then 2 and 3 days later as they start packing it up and moving things around and piling things into the hallways and such. And those are the hazmat. They started piling all the hazmat stuff, the stuff that needed to be removed by the hazmat crew, into that hallway. So that's what you see there. So this is bullet damage. It shows a calendar. It's a 2012 calendar. You can blow it up and look at it. And you can clearly see that this calendar next to the picture of the Soto family, and this is from room 10 presumably, but that's the Soto family, and this is bullet damage on the wall. And you can clearly see that is a 2012 calendar when you blow it up. Timestamps that picture. Very loving, caring, smart teacher lost her life there, and this is showing that. And so then you have the hoaxers. Let's see the hoaxers.
Show you another photograph, Mr. Fiella.
This is Kay Wilson.
Do you recognize what's depicted in that photograph?
Well, it says room 10. I can't verify the room number or what was written on here. It looks like a cork board in a classroom.
Okay. And if you had done...
So she's handing out that photograph of that board. She's handing it to the superintendent, and she wants to know they received a bunch of work orders that Halbig won't release. But she wants to know if a work order would have been generated for that bullet hole damage before December 2012. So that's this disgusting exchange that goes on here. And you wonder why Newtown treats you the way you do, because you guys are disgusting.
Done an inspection and seen that cork board, would you have made a request for a work order?
Objection. I think they've got to establish the relevant time period.
When was this picture taken?
December 14th or 15th of 2012. It's from the crime scene photographer.
I don't object to this line of questioning. The work orders requested for period before December 14th.
All right, so that's what that picture is. It's clearly depicting the bullet damage in room 10, and they're asking the superintendent, who obviously knows it's bullet damage, if there's a work order. And Monty Frank is objecting. This picture was taken after the shooting, and Halbig's request did not cover after the shooting. So they know no work order would have been generated for this bullet hole. It's just sick hoaxer tactic. It's sick. And so most people who watched that didn't really understand probably what was going on there. And so that's why Frank and him were just disgusted by Halbig. Who wouldn't be? So there's police crew sitting in the lobby after the shooting. They've labeled everything. So we talked about these parades. I just wanted to show the wall. Alright, so you can see the wax buildup there that Halbig doesn't understand, and K. Wilson can't seem to understand. Now this hot sprung dancing. This is her doing a presentation before the school board, and I already did a video on this. But I wanted to point something out. After this, she takes a seat in the front row. And she's sitting there and she's using her iPad. And I think the video is dark, but I think that's a red iPad case. And it looks like it's folded all the way open so that the lid is folded underneath it. So it's her using an iPad, obviously modern equipment. And we'll go back to that crime scene video. And we don't know for sure. That is a red iPad right there on the table. And I would suggest that that's her iPad. So that's the timestamps for you. That'll do it for this one.